Hey, this is Justin with Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com, and this is our KLR650 adventure bike build. The KLR650 is no doubt the most popular adventure bike on the market today for a lot of good reasons. First off, this bike has been around since 1987, and since then Kawasaki has made very little changes to the machine. They've done some styling changes and a little changes with suspension, but for the most part, it's the same motor, same chassis, same machine as it was back in 1987. And over the years, Kawasaki has developed a reputation for reliability on this bike. Another reason this bike's so popular is the price. Maybe because it hasn't changed so much, Kawasaki has been able to keep the price down on this bike. So it's a very popular machine. It's got proven reliability. It may not be the best bike on all the different terrain you're going to put it through, but it does everything pretty well. So in this video, I'm going to kind of show you some of the things we've done to this bike to overcome some of the weaknesses the KLR has and just to make it a better overall adventure bike. To start off, I'm going to show you the must-haves for the KLR650, then I'm going to show you the nice-to-haves. So let's get started. To start our must-have list, I'm going to talk about the Doohickey. All the Doohickey is, you've probably heard about it, but it's a counterbalance chain tensioner that comes stock in the KLR, and it tends to have problems. They've fixed it in recent years, they've made it a little bit better, but the spring still has issues, so you've got to put in an Eagle Mike Doohickey. The next thing the KLR has to have is a little bit of protection. So we put a Ricochet skid plate on this KLR, and they hold up really well. They're really tough aluminum skid plates. And along with the skid plate, we put on a low profile drain plug. One of the problems with the KLR is that the drain plug hangs down so low that even with the skid plate, you can hit something hard enough and bash that drain bolt right into your cases. So you gotta have a low profile drain bolt. And then with protection, you've gotta have crash bars. On the Gen 2, the 08 and newer KLR, the shrouds are really expensive. So when you tip over, you're bound to break one of those shrouds. So you're better off getting some crash bars right from the beginning that are going to protect those shrouds. And you'll probably spend about as much on crash bars as you would on one shroud. So definitely the way to go. Next up is the suspension. The stock suspension is sprung really soft and valved really soft. So on the back end, on the shock, we put on a progressive shock. It's a lot stiffer, it's valved a lot better. If you're carrying luggage, it works really well. It's just a huge improvement overall. If you don't want to spend the money on a shock, another big improvement is just putting in a heavier weight shock oil and a stiffer spring. And we actually have a how-to video on how to do that. Going up front to the forks, we put in stiffer progressive suspension springs, and we put in Racetech emulators. And the emulators pretty much add real valving to the forks of the motorcycle. The stock valving is basically just oil running through some holes in the cartridge, and the emulators actually give it some valving, so it just works a lot better, especially if you're doing a lot of off-road riding. Also, on the front forks, we put on an Eagle Mike fork brace. The stock forks just feel a little bit flexy. The fork brace makes it feel a little more solid and more planted on the front end. Next up, you've got to change the foot peg and shift lever. The stock foot peg is really skinny and you're not going to hook up good for off-road riding. It's great if you're just driving to work, but just not real good for off-road. And along with that, we've changed out the shift lever. Both of these are from Tusk. The shift lever is actually 10 millimeters longer, so you can actually get your boot under it. Both these items make the KLR a lot more comfortable to ride. Moving to the tires, you've got to have a good aggressive tire if you're going to be going off-road. We really like the Dunlop 606. They last really well and they hook up awesome off-road. They may not be the longest lasting tire that you can put on a KLR, but I'll take good grip off-road and not crashing my motorcycle as much way over having a longer lasting tire. Also with the tires, we add rim locks to both the front and rear. I've seen it too many times where you get a flat on high-speed pavement and the tire just wants to come off the wheel and throw you sideways. So I always throw rim locks on my dual sport bikes. They're inexpensive and they're easy to install. Last but not least on the must-have list is luggage. You gotta have luggage to pack all your gear if you're gonna go adventure riding. Starting up front, tank bag. I love having a tank bag. I have a Wolfman Blackhawk tank bag on this bike. I really like it. I put my cell phone, sunglasses, whatever, things that I need quick access to, a tank bag is awesome. Moving to the back of the bike, I have a Wolfman Expedition dry duffel bag. I really like this bag. I put all my camping gear in here. Because it is sitting up higher, I like to put my light camping gear in there. So I have my sleeping bag, my tent, and my pad back here. If you have any questions on how to pack, we actually have a video on how to pack for your adventure rides. Moving to the panniers, I have our Tusk pannier racks and boxes. This is a really rugged setup and has a lot of capacity to hold stuff. This is actually our medium box. There is a larger box, our large. And these are really nice because you can put them on the racks really easy and they come off really easy. You can also just use the racks for soft luggage if you'd prefer to run soft luggage as well. Now that we've covered our long list of must-haves, let's talk about a few nice-to-haves. First on my list is Alec Exhaust. This is a slip-on exhaust that replaces the stock. It saves several pounds and actually gives the bike better power, better response. It is tunable, but I like to keep the quiet core inside the exhaust. It keeps the sound down so it's not obnoxious while still giving the bike plenty of power. The KLR has a reputation for poor braking, so we've actually added a 320mm oversized rotor from Tusk to this bike. It just gives you a little bit more bite, a little bit better braking on the front end. The oversized rotor kit is available for both the Gen 1 and Gen 2 KLRs. Next, let's move to the handlebars. The stock handlebars are low and kind of weird feeling, so I've actually put some Rox risers on this bike and some oversized handlebars, and it just makes the bike feel a lot better, especially when standing up off-road. If you need to stand up through a technical section, this setup works a lot better. And along with the handlebars, we've put on grip heaters, which is always nice to have, and we put on some wraparound hand guards. These are nice to save your levers in case of a tip over or anything else, and just to give yourself better hand protection. Also on the handlebar, I have a 12-volt power socket. It's nice to have right there to be able to charge my cell phone, GPS, or whatever electronics I'm running. Finally on my list is the Seat Concepts Complete Seat. These things are really nice for long adventure rides. They're wider in the back, so your butt doesn't get sore on long rides, and it's narrow in the front, so it's easy to get your feet down in technical sections. They're really comfortable seats. I've really liked it on this bike. All right, that wraps up our KLR650 adventure bike build. Hopefully some of the things that we've done to this bike will help you build your KLR for adventure. We've had several of these KLRs over the years and they've proven to be reliable and worthy adventure bikes. Be sure and check out our website for all the parts, apparel, and accessories you need to help you on your adventures. Thanks for watching.